Hi, guys, it's Mike again. Let's ask the question. What can you do to get the borderline to idealize you again? Can you ever get that back? Can you ever get them to love you again? Um, I can really understand this question. This is probably, I would bet, if there's one question that is asked or felt the most for partners of borderline, people with borderline personality disorder, it would be this question: what can I do to get them to love me again? Will they ever love me again? Because their love, when they give it to you, is so incredibly seductive and amazing and wonderful. It's like nothing you've ever felt in your life, right? What can you do to get them to love you again? Well, let's take a look at that question. First of all, welcome to all of you if this is the first time to my channel. This channel is dedicated to non-borderlines who are or have been in a relationship with somebody with borderline personality disorder. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I am just somebody who survived having been in a relationship with a borderline. And I created this channel to, first and foremost, just talk through my feelings so I could feel better. But apparently it's helping a lot of others, so I'm continuing the channel. If you're a borderline, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't know what you go through, and it's not my intention to try and tell you what you go through. What I do when I do say what the borderline thinks and what the borderline is feeling, that is a way that I need to look at it in order to separate and to heal. So don't hold me to it. If it's helpful for you, as it seems to be for some borderlines, I welcome you, and I hope that you get something from this channel. All right, so this question. Gosh, that's just, that's really the power that the borderlines have. Is that they, if they didn't love bomb you, if they just treated you the way some really messed up people do, where they just hate you from the beginning, they just go straight to the devaluation, however the hell you say it, the devaluing. There are just some people that are just in the devalue. The moment you walk in the door, they just devalue you. So from then on, you're like, God, what an asshole. So you don't even think, what can I do to get that guy's love? I mean, unless you've got some issue, some unresolved childhood issue. You're just like, God, stay away from that guy. That girl, boy, Jesus, go get laid or something. What the hell is your problem? Go have a drink. Go smoke some pot and go be happy. I'm kidding. I don't recommend you do any of those things. But that's why. If they didn't love bomb us so hard, if they didn't set up that expectation for us, if they didn't fill that hole in our gut and in our heart in such an amazing way like nobody ever has, if they hadn't done that, we wouldn't be hooked. And that's why we're hooked. And I feel for you. I mean, I can remember asking those questions. I can remember her, I can remember after she had discarded me for the last time. I can remembering the way she described this narcissist that she was with for a long time. And especially all of the sexual things that he got her to do. And she would say, I learned this and I do that. And of course, I got a taste of a couple of those things. But of course, she'd split on me, even when we were having sex. And so it was like, ugh. But I remember after she split on me and knowing that, realizing that there was nothing I was going to say or do, I started fantasizing about, well, maybe if I became and acted like one of those narcissists and I started treating her the way he did, then she would do all of those things to me. And I started really getting lost in one of those fantasies, and I was in that much pain. I had to, realize I had to sit myself down and go, yeah, but you know what? She ended up finding a way to devalue and discard him, which is true. She found a way after X amount of time to completely destroy and devalue and discard this guy, who was a narcissist. And then I realized, holy crap, you can't win. She holds all of the cards. You will never You will never be able to get past that genius radar that they have, because they know. They know when there's some meat in there that they can chew on. And they know when they've completely devalued you to the point where you don't have any soul left. And when that's happened, then they have now projected onto you their internal reality, and because they see themselves, the truth of themselves in you, and they hate themselves more than they hate anything in the universe, they can't help but hate you, because they don't have the ability to do anything other than project onto you, which means that you're screwed. You will never get them to see you. You will never get them to see how you truly feel about them, how you truly love them. If you're waiting for the opportunity to show them how much you really love them, they will never see that, because they've never seen you from the beginning. Whether this is true or not doesn't matter. You need to have this attitude in order to separate. And again, I'm going off of my experience with my borderline ex. And I can remember coming to the realization that she, her skills were just so far beyond mine. I would, no matter how much if I could muster up the ability to try and manipulate and seduce somebody, I would never get anywhere near to the level of her perfection. Because if you're somebody that's all you have is your own internal experience that you can't get out of, and all you do is project onto others your internal feelings about yourself, after they have completely, totally proven to themselves that you aren't their idealization, which is what they're doing. When they idealize you, what they're doing is they're experimenting. They're trying to get it right. And they think you're going to be the one. They don't realize it, but they're trying to take their internal fantasy and paste it on you. And if it would just stick, that part's coming off, the whole thing fell down. If they could just get it to stick, they'd be okay. But bear in mind that you wouldn't be a real person. You'd just be a mannequin with some sticker of what they want you to be. It's never going to stick. So the answer is, will they ever love you again? No. What can you do to get them to love you again? Nothing. It's as inevitable as anything in the world. Anyway, so there it is, the short question. I'm leaving it on a sad note. I'm sorry to say that. If you are in a relationship with a borderline, the kindest thing you can do for them is to leave. You think you need to help them and take care of them, but you don't. It's not your responsibility. It's not your job, and you are not powerful enough to do it. The kindest thing you can do is put them in a situation of realizing that they need help, and the only way to do that is if you stop placating them and taking care of them and co-signing their craziness. The only way that that's going to happen is if you go no contact. My suggestion is to say to the borderline that you love them, and that for your own safety, you have to leave the relationship, because the relationship is damaging to you. And if they want you in their life, then they can go to a psychologist who is trained, or a psychiatrist who is trained in treating borderline personality disorder. And if they can do that twice a week for a year, then to give you a call. You and I both know it's not going to happen. But it might be. They might be the 1 in 10,000 that decides to go through with it, and maybe they get better because you set down that boundary. And then you go no contact. You block phone, internet, Facebook, and you act as though that relationship is gone forever. Then you get yourself into therapy, or get yourself into therapy as soon as possible with a psychologist, and go to a 12-step group like Codependence Anonymous and work with a sponsor and work the 12 steps. I'm in a state of recovery. If you want to know how I did it, that's what I did. If you want what I have, you got to do what I do. I don't know any other way to do it. Maybe other people have other ways. You can ask them, and if it works for them, you give it a try. That's what I know. So that's it for me. So I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, and if you want to subscribe, smash the crying baby in the face. Sorry, be nice to the baby. Gently click on the baby's face. All right, see you later.